So this is the next day. The Evercoat is dry, and I'm now using a 600 paper on a rubber block just to denib the little bits and pieces that's on there, like if there's any high spots or anything, we can take those all out. 600 is quite good for this job. Because you'll get overspray, if you see what I mean. You'll get a little bit of overspray. Look at my hair. You want it off the white, if you see what I mean. Repair's quite good, I hope. Hard to say, there might be some micro scratches in it, but it is a bloody Land Rover, it's not a Rolls Royce. I am not a professional bodyman, I've only taught myself. And it's come out quite nice so far, but you know, seeing this car's already been done once, painted. You see what happens there? See some dry up there, look. I just like to go over it with my fingers a little bit. See, it starts to pick up. Just come off, just put your paper on the side of it. So I'm going to finish that off, then we'll bang some white paint on and see how it looks. I hate blending in repairs because, like I say, I'm not sure if it's the right colour. I really don't know. It'd be better to do the whole panel, but then you end up doing the whole car because that wing doesn't match. But the criteria was to cover over that hole. Last job we've got to do, I just put some compound around the edge here, and by using a microfiber cloth, you're going to feel it's nice and smooth. You've got no gritty bits, because if you can feel gritty bits through the microfiber, well, it needs to be sanded down, but that's nice. It's taken all the dust off. All we've got to do now is fill that hole up and bang a bit of paint in. Right, so this is the paint we're going to be using. It's Napa Atlas White. I don't know what that's of. But the point of this section is, listen how thin that paint is. And in days gone by, when you bought paint like this, you could almost stand a spoon in it. It was that thick, it was very dense. And then you used to cut it and thin it down, and it used to go a long, long way. So what I'm trying to say to you is this. If you do get premixed paint and it is like this, don't put so much thinner in it, because otherwise you'll be blowing it all over the place and you'll get curtains and rungs and sags like you have in here. So I have to be very careful. But this just goes to show you, I was going to say, I don't know if I've repeated myself, but when you do a repair, just a little few repairs around here has gone over to here, if you see what I mean. It's not just a matter of getting a rattle can and spraying it. Well, that would be easy, wouldn't it? But imagine how many cans I'd have to get through to get the right colour. Is it this? I don't know. Let's find out. Right, mask on. Test. It's not too bad, but it's not a right colour, but I'm going to leave it for a bit and then come back for another coat. That's the second coat on. Shines up well. Whether it's going to blend in or not here, I don't know, but well, as we used to say, a blind man on a galloping horse wouldn't see it, but I think what we'll end up with is a bit of a line here. I sprayed it right down to the bottom, but that's as good as it's going to get, I think. It's repaired nice, isn't it? You know, I mean, that's alright, but if I could have blown all the wing in, it wouldn't have been so bad. But it's more work, isn't it? Jesus, and when's it going to stop this? Right, back in a bit. So the last job is use your buffer blend this in a bit. The black mark on there because it went a bit too dry, but put a bit of compound on and now. That's not too bad, but have a closer look here and here. I don't know if you can see. There's some curtains in it from when it was done before, but that's not too bad. We'll finish that off with just a bit of a microfiber, a bit of buff. There we go. And when you can't hear your microfiber grab, you know it's nice and smooth. I always like to do repairs like this with all the masking on, so then the compound's not spraying all over the place. But it's a sort of a reasonable repair. It's not too bad. It's certainly better than it was. Once it gets the grill on, no problem at all. Like I said before, because this is like the third day, I don't particularly like blending, but I ran out of paint, and to paint the whole wing I'd have to buy another container of paint, and that little tin of paint I showed you earlier, well, that was like $65 for that little bit, and when you got the hardener I think it was over $100, so it is a kind of an expensive thing to do. It is worth having a go, because you can't make it too bad, but it's the paint's not a bad colour actually. It's not bad. Now, one little tip. If you've got a metallic paint and you want to touch it up, you must paint the whole panel with clear coat. Once you've done your repair and you do your base coat, if you're going to put clear coat on the top, you must do the whole panel. If not, the edge where it's feathered in will, how do we say, it'll sort of go cracked and crazy round the edges. It doesn't look very good, but it's possible to do. So I hope you like that. We'll see you in the next video. So this is a couple of days later, and I just wanted to show you. Actually, it's quite surprising. It blended in really nice. You can't feel there's any marks in it. The repair's gone really well. I just thought I'd finish off this video. However, one downside, well, let me take the camera off and I'll show you. You can see what they've done here. They've painted the whole truck white and then just painted over the white with some black. The problem is that when I took the masking off, all the bloody paint started to peel off. That came off my power wash, so it looks like I'm going to have to do something there. But if we look at different angles of this, ignoring those runs that I didn't do, it's not bad. But you can see here, this is more yellow, but this is white. I don't think they've used the same paint on the car, because the vents are awful. I don't know what they've done with that. You see both of them, they've taken them off to paint them separate, but I think they've painted them with a different paint. And as I mentioned before, look, you see down here, it's stained and it's dirty, but it's like, listen, it's like it's got hardly any hardener in it. You can see how dirty it's got, because there's nothing for it to wash off against, if you see what I mean. But I can't do anything about that. I'll end up painting the old bloody car. But I just wanted to show you what it looked like. Just waiting for the grill to come. Yeah, I think we'll get away with that.